Taking effective supplements will boost your energy levels, increase your strength, and provide the nutrients that your muscles need to recover and grow faster. Even though supplements should just be treated as that cherry on top of an already effective diet and training plan, that cherry on top actually does matter, and it can have a big impact. For example, take a look at just one supplement, creatine monohydrate, which studies have shown can provide a 15% boost in performance markers like maximal power, strength, and muscle contractions. 15% may not sound like a whole lot, but it is a lot because just this one supplement can help you push yourself to lift a heavier weight or squeeze out an extra rep or two, and that's what you need to build more muscle. So the first tip if you want to bulk up faster is to really consider taking creatine. The fact that creatine can help significantly improve lifting performance is backed by over 20 studies that found an average increase of 14% in overall weightlifting performance and up to a whopping 45% boost on an exercise like the bench press. Not only does creatine help you build more muscle by getting stronger, but it also increases cellular hydration, or in other words, it increases water retention within your muscles. This obviously will make your muscles appear fuller and bigger, but it's also another way that creatine can actually help stimulate muscle growth because that water retention increases the pressure placed against the cell membranes and cytoskeletons within your muscle cells. And your muscle cells perceive that as a threat to their integrity, which can increase anabolic signaling, leading to a more favorable protein turnover rate, ultimately stimulating more muscle growth. That's probably one of the reasons why we see studies like this one where after just 6 weeks of strength training, men that supplemented with creatine gained on average 4.5 extra pounds of muscle than the men that received the placebo instead. Now, even though you do naturally take in creatine from sources like chicken, seafood, and red meat to get the maximum benefits for muscle growth, supplementation is generally required. So simply taking 5 grams of creatine monohydrate per day will have your muscles fully saturated with creatine within 3 to 4 weeks, according to the evidence. One last thing is to make sure you have this after your workout. A lot of people take creatine before their workout, but most likely you're better off taking it after your workout because that's what research shows us, that it's most likely more effective afterwards. Next, let's talk about mass gainers because even though they're very popular for bulking, I recommend you just make your own protein shake after your workout. A mass gainer is very appealing because it sounds like some special formula that's specifically designed to boost muscle growth, but in reality, most mass gainers use cheaper protein sources and they're just essentially mixed with a lot of sugar. You're better off spending your money on a higher quality protein powder, and if you really do need those additional calories, you can add things like whole milk, peanut butter, a banana, and even blend in additional carbs like oats. Now, another thing you should know is that even though the anabolic window has been debunked, meaning even though you don't need to rush to take a protein shake immediately after your workout, research does still show us that there is a benefit to consuming protein sometime soon after your workout, specifically within the first hour. For example, a 2018 study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found evidence that consuming protein shortly after a workout can help improve strength and muscle growth even if you're already consuming enough protein throughout the rest of the day. This is because taking protein powder post-workout spikes your insulin and quickly delivers amino acids to your muscles. Those amino acids provide the building blocks to regain and maintain a positive protein turnover rate within your muscles. The protein turnover rate refers to the balance between muscle protein synthesis and muscle protein breakdown. We want a greater amount of synthesis than breakdown to actually build muscle. Or in other words, we want a positive protein turnover rate. And after a workout, our muscles have gone through the exact opposite. They've gone through muscle protein breakdown. So if you can't eat a high protein meal soon after your workout, having a protein shake is a must if your goal is to bulk up. Whey protein is the go-to for most people after a workout because it doesn't clump up, it's relatively easy on your stomach, and it tastes pretty good. But there are many other options too, like egg protein, vegan protein blends, and casein. This actually leads me to the next tip, which isn't required but can help, and that's taking a casein protein shake before bed. Casein is a slower digesting protein source than whey, and you can actually take casein instead of whey after your workout, and it'll work just as well. Some studies even indicate that casein is better at slowing muscle protein breakdown than whey. But the reason why you may want to add a casein protein shake before bed is because when you sleep, you go for 6 to 9 hours without taking in any amino acids, which leads to having a higher protein breakdown rate and a lower protein synthesis rate while you sleep. Studies show that taking protein before bed can be the helping factor that you need to maintain that positive protein turnover rate while you sleep instead of entering a more catabolic state. That's why having casein before bed could potentially provide additional benefits in terms of strength and muscle gains. Keep in mind that timing your protein intake and having casein before bed is not nearly as important as just making sure that you're getting enough protein throughout the entire day. So make sure you have your total protein intake in check before you're worried about the pre-bed casein shake or even a post-workout protein shake for that matter. In either case, creatine and protein are going to be the major supplements to have after a workout. As far as during the workout, you should know that intra-workout supplementation is mostly useless, even though it's promoted by many supplement companies. Yes, it is true that when you work out, your body uses and depletes stored glycogen found within your muscles. And for that reason, some people will try to supplement with something like waxy maize, dextrose, or even a regular Gatorade in the middle of their workouts to replenish that lost glycogen. However, research doesn't show much of a beneficial effect from intra-workout carbohydrates, or in other words, carbs that you take in specifically during your workout. The only way intra-workout carbs could provide a benefit is if your body is already really low on carbs, if let's say you're dieting or you're an athlete that burns a lot of calories, maybe training intensely twice a day. But if you're just lifting weights, trying to bulk up, and you're already in a calorie surplus from your diet, that means you should already have more than enough glycogen stores to perform at your best at lifting weights without taking in the unnecessary extra calories from intra-workout supplements like Gatorade mixed with BCAAs, for example. So in reality, the only intra-workout supplement that the majority of you should be having is plain old water. Next, let's move on to pre-workout supplementation. The first thing you're going to want to have is something to boost your energy so you can perform at your best. And one of the best things for that is simply caffeine. You'll notice that most pre-workout formulas contain anywhere from 150 to 300 milligrams of caffeine. This is about equivalent to the amount of caffeine found in 1 to 3 cups of coffee. And regardless of whether you have that caffeine from a pre-workout supplement or from a homemade cup of coffee, it's proven to help with suppressing fatigue while increasing focus, strength, power, and endurance. In combination with the caffeine, you'll also likely want to take some L-theanine before your workout. L-theanine is an amino acid found in tea leaves, and studies show that L-theanine enhances caffeine's positive effects like focus and motivation while reducing the negative aspects like anxiety, increased blood pressure, and disrupted sleep. The general recommended ratio of caffeine to L-theanine is 1 to 2. So for every average cup of coffee, add 200 milligrams of L-theanine. And if you feel like it calms you down too much, you can instead try a lower 1 to 1 ratio. So 100 milligrams of L-theanine would be equivalent to 1 cup of coffee. Another ingredient that you'll want in your pre-workout is either beta-alanine, or if you're trying to save money, you can actually use baking soda instead. They can both help reduce muscle fatigue and enhance endurance by helping to balance pH levels within your muscles during your workout. When you're weight training, you're engaging in a form of anaerobic exercise, which means that your body's demand for oxygen exceeds the available supply. As a result, the anaerobic pathway gets stimulated, which causes the production of lactic acid. And that lactic acid then quickly separates into a hydrogen ion and a lactate within the muscle. That hydrogen ion leads to that burning sensation that you feel while lifting weights. In fact, having excessive levels of hydrogen ions in your muscles decreases pH below 7, making it a more acidic environment, which disrupts energy production and the muscle's ability to contract, leading to a drop in exercise performance. Fortunately, both beta-alanine and sodium bicarbonate have the ability to raise blood pH slightly, which allows acid to move from muscle cells into the bloodstream, ultimately lowering pH within a muscle. Beta-alanine has to first bind to an amino acid known as L-histidine to form carnosine, and carnosine is actually the thing that helps balance those pH levels. So it can be beneficial to have either 2 to 5 grams of beta-alanine before your workout, or alternatively, you can try 90 to 135 milligrams of baking soda per pound of body weight before your workout. Keep in mind there's no need to take both, one or the other should work just fine. One last pre-workout ingredient that you may want to add is citrulline malate. You'll also find this in many pre-workout supplements. Citrulline malate can help reduce metabolic waste products, including the same hydrogen ions that lead to fatigue and muscle cramping. It also can lead to enhanced nitric oxide production, which increases blood flow and helps to provide a pump. Studies show that citrulline malate can help increase the number of reps that you can perform by enhancing muscular endurance. So 6 to 8 grams of citrulline malate about an hour before working out should be enough for you to feel the effects. So by having those ingredients before your workout, you should be able to naturally maximize your performance while lifting weights, which will help you build more muscle. In regard to vitamins and minerals, multivitamins for the most part are a waste of money, especially for bulking, because the majority of the nutrients that they provide you, you'll already be getting from your diet anyway. So you're just taking an extra for no reason. Most multivitamin brands also make vitamins that are hard to digest and have low bioavailabilities to begin with, meaning they won't be fully absorbed by your body. Instead of taking a shotgun approach with a multivitamin, I recommend only taking vitamins that you're more likely to be deficient in. For example, zinc is a mineral that's lost through sweat, and people who sweat a lot can become deficient in it. And overall, 17% of the world is actually deficient in zinc. Being deficient in zinc can lower your metabolism and testosterone levels, which will also hurt muscle growth. So make sure you're eating foods that score high in zinc like shellfish, red meat, and organ meats. Or you can supplement with zinc liquid drops. Another one is vitamin D. If you live in a climate that prevents you from getting enough sunshine, you might be one of the 41.6% of people in the United States that are deficient in this vitamin. And that's bad because vitamin D levels influence strength development, exercise performance, and your recovery from workouts. Studies also show that men that have sufficient vitamin D levels tend to have significantly higher testosterone. So taking a daily vitamin D supplement can provide a big benefit. For example, in a study where healthy men took 3,332 international units of vitamin D every day for a year, they ended up with 25% higher testosterone compared to those who took a placebo instead. Then we have iodine, which according to the World Health Organization, 35% of the world's population isn't getting enough iodine on a daily basis. To make sure that you do, simply buy iodized sea salt or regular iodized salt and you should be fine. So that about wraps it up. I really hope you learned something new and that you enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you want any extra help with not only supplements, but also setting up an entire diet and training plan that'll provide the other 90% of your results, then visit my website. You can get our entire program for free just by staying consistent and sticking to the plan. It'll come with a full workout program, a diet plan based on your preferences, a 42 recipe cookbook, and a coach will be there to guide you through the entire process. To find out more, you can click the link below in the description, or you can head straight on over to my website at gravitytransformation.com. I'll see you guys soon.